I just can't remember exactly. He goes, well, go. So I'll go sit on the computer when I actually have to sit down and just really think about what I'm doing. And sometimes I'll just put a pad of paper down. And even if I don't get exactly, it's all cooked. Now I know you guys are probably wondering, we have all these little forks sticking out of here. But the girls volunteered. It was hard to get them to do this, but they did volunteer to do the taste test. Hi, welcome to Cooking for All Seasons, and I'm Judy Keys, and today we're going to be doing some comfort food. And we're going to be doing some macaroni and cheese, and just by chance, my friends dropped by. No, really, they really did. And so since we're doing comfort food, it's always comforting to have your friends here. So, this is Joelle, and this is Renee, and thank you guys for dropping by. Were you hungry?
Very. You always have to be hungry when you come to Judy's kitchen.
Well, today, everybody eats macaroni and cheese. All the kids eat macaroni and cheese. There's boxes of macaroni and cheese. I'm sure you've all made those, for yourselves, for your children and everything. And it's kind of a thing to go and have macaroni and cheese in restaurants now. And all the restaurants have different versions of it. But it's nice to come home in the evening and be able to make your own. I did a little bit of research and found that there are different. There's probably, of all the things, like spaghetti, anything with pasta. There's a kabillion different recipes, but I figured out that there are about 3 different basic ways of making macaroni and cheese. One is making a basic white sauce and adding cheese to it, which we were talking about, and you do that one. The other one is layering macaroni and then dotting it with butter and cheese, and then another layer, and then eventually topping it off with a mixture of milk and egg. And that's a very, very old way of making macaroni and cheese, and I think it dates back to I was reading to the 1920s or something. That was a real popular way. And then my sister-in-law gave me another recipe, and her recipe involves evaporated milk and a cream of chicken soup. And that was another way of making macaroni and cheese. And so I decided that I would show all 3 of them, and I hope that all the viewers enjoy it. I'll be posting all the recipes up on my website for you. So tell me about, while I'm doing this, the first one, I want to tell you, my sponsor is La Crusade today, and LJB Farms bringing in all the vegetables for me. The last one I'm going to make is going to be a sort of a Mexican style one. It has beef and corn and tomatoes and onions and peppers and some roasted peppers that I got from LJB Farms, and it's really good. I know. I know Joelle's had it. I know Joelle's had it before. I've made it. It's an old recipe from my family. I sort of updated it using my sister-in-law's recipe with the cream of chicken soup in it. And if you don't like cream of chicken soup, you could use anything in it. So I did pick a couple different cheeses. One is this pepperdeli cheese. I think you guys tasted it, and
it's delicious.
Actually, one of the crew members said that it tasted something like something her mother made. It was like a pimento cheese in it. And so I decided to use that in one of our recipes, and this is an aged white cheddar. So whatever kind of cheese, and the other one I'm going to use is a Mexican cheese mix. So whatever kind of cheese that your family likes, use that, Actually, you can really throw in ricotta too, which is a different kind of cheese. You could put anything in macaroni and cheese, anything that your family likes, vegetables, anything. So the first thing we're going to start with, I have 3 different shapes you can see. The first thing I'm going to start with is to put in some Pam because macaroni and cheese does stick, you know. So why don't you guys talk? You guys have any ideas about what was your favorite thing when you were a kid? What you enjoyed eating? What was your favorite dish, Renee?
When I was a little kid,
Yeah.
gosh, I can't think that far back.
Oh.
I ate everything. My mother used to make these little meat cups, but they were mixed with sugar, and she'd get the Bisquick dough, and she'd line a cupcake pan with it. And the meat had brown sugar and barbecue sauce, if you could imagine. And she'd put it in the cup, and then she'd cover it with cheddar cheese, and then she'd bake it. So it was almost like eating candy, but it was beef. And my brothers and sisters, we still talk about them. We all remember them quite
really?
vividly. Yeah.
So do you make them?
I don't. I don't because they're a little sweet now for my liking. But back then it was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because I know your family owns Rosine's in
Right.
Monterey,
Right.
and that's an excellent restaurant.
Yeah. My mom always made sure we had lots of food to eat all the time.
Yeah.
So it was fun growing up. Yeah.
Well, and Joelle, I know that your family, you have a real
Very,
exotic combination.
not that exotic, but
Well.
it's been fun. It's been have a lot of great food.
Yeah.
Both my parents are good cooks. So,
And we're,
I mean, talking about comfort food, I grew up with a stew that I always thought, was my mother's stew because I grew up eating it, and lo and behold, my father's mother taught her how to make it. So, I am now learning the process. I've enjoyed eating it so often. It's time to pass the recipes down.
well, that's really that's really important, and I Joelle and I have talked about it. I said one of the most important things is to be with your mom or your dad or whoever does the cooking or both or whatever, and just be a participant in the kitchen. I mean, get a little book. I know, try to write things down. She's
I
always
started the
telling-
book.
Yeah, sometimes I mean even I sort of get in the kitchen and I start cooking and I forget to write things down, and my husband will say, "Well, that was really good. What'd you put in it?" And I'll go, "Oh, I just can't remember exactly." He goes, "Well, go." So I'll go sit on the computer. Then I actually have to sit down and just really think about what I'm doing. And sometimes I'll just put a pad of paper down, and even if I don't get exactly, the measurements, I'll put down at least what I've put into what I've made, and it does make a difference, because as you get older, you do forget a few things.
Or especially if there are things that you don't cook very often.
Yeah.
The crab marinade that I do every year, you really were after me to, write everything down because I'd get and not know how much to make.
Well, yeah, and especially
so
if you're
it
doing
does.
volume.
Yeah, it really does help just to jot a few things down and just how many pounds of meat to how much sauce or whatever. But it just gives a little bit of guidelines so you don't have to rethink everything every time you start.
I just, I've cooked for hundreds of people, and over the years, I've got these little books, and I write things down, and I love to grocery shop, and grocery shopping is probably one of my most favorite things, and you just have to start remembering to write the quantities of things that you put into, even sauces, because it's hard. Well, you were born and raised in the restaurant business, so you know how important it is because, I mean, you can't say to a customer, "Oh, gee, we just ran out," because that's, I mean, you can. I mean, especially if you have a special. I mean, that's understandable.
Right.
But, if you have guests in your house, it's like
Right.
really embarrassing to go, "Oh, I didn't
Ran
make
out."
enough."
Well, and also, I would imagine in your restaurant to replicate, the
Exactly.
taste of a dish
Yeah.
Because-
day in and day out.
Right.
You really do.
Because
need to-
people
Well,
come
we have
back
repeat
looking for
customers
that,
for the
looking for
exact
that
same
taste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to be able to replicate it and know exactly what goes in the sauce, so it is the same taste every exact time they make it. So
And so
It's important. It's
do you
important to
hide
know.
your recipes?
Well, I actually wrote a cookbook for Rosine's, and most of our recipes are in the cookbook, our cake recipes and a lot of the sauces. But they have added quite a few sauces since I wrote the book. So they do keep a notebook, and they do write down what they make the sauces out of. Because if a new cook comes on board, they'll know exactly how to
Because
duplicate
I
the
was
sauce.
there in her kitchen, and she's got these huge pots. I mean,
Huge.
my gosh, you know, you
Yes.
can't just go,
Right.
gee, how many of those do I put in? Because especially things like salt. I mean,
Right.
because you can really, I mean, you could totally ruin
By adding too much salt.
by adding too much salt.
Right,
I mean,
okay.
and then pretty soon, you know, you've got like, you know, spaghetti sauce for 500.
Yeah, and you
know.
can't fix it. Once it's too salty, it's too salty. You can't take it back.
Yeah, and then, you know,
Yeah.
you're really in trouble.
You are.
But things like comfort food, I don't know, do you guys make macaroni and cheese? Do you make something?
I don't know that they do. I don't think so. No.
But macaroni and cheese, I mean, macaroni and cheese is a pasta. You could put crab in it in the holidays. You could make, you know. So over here at the stove, I'm going to reach over here. 1 second, I'll be right back. What I've done, one of the recipes is a white sauce. And what this has in it is it has 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour. And what you want to do is you want to melt the butter, put the flour in, and let it cook a little bit. Because what you want to do is you want to cook the flour. Otherwise, it's not going to taste very good. So you know, just watch it. Don't turn it up too high. Just watch it, you know, and let it kind of bubble a little bit. And pretty soon, you know, you'll see it. It'll the smell will sort of let you know. I think, you know, when it's been cooked. And then you're going to add in 2 cups of milk. And even at this point, if you want to use low-fat milk, you don't have to use whole milk. And if your family is, you know, the 4 tablespoons of butter, if you can't use butter, you're going to really change the flavor. If you had to, I imagine you can use margarine. You have to be careful because margarine, remember, has water in it, so that's going to change the consistency of it. But you could try it. You can use actually acidophilus or soy milk if your family was sensitive, lactose intolerant, or something like that. So which one should we do with this one? Now we're going to put the cheese in it, and to this one you add, it says about a cup of cheese. So actually this is a little bit thick for me, so I'm going to add a little bit of milk. And what you want to do is when you're making a sauce that you're using flour, it won't get to its total thickness, to its maximum thickness until it comes to a boil. So make sure that you watch it and you stir it, and that it comes to a full boil. So there you go. Actually, I used half and half because that's what I had in the house. I know this is really fattening, but I know you guys will eat it.
All the more.
I know we'll suffer with it, but that's pretty decadent. I probably wouldn't use anything more than a half and half. If you start using whole cream, you're really starting to get pretty fattening there, and it's going to really change the consistency. So let's see, which one should we use? Let's use the peppermint. So this one's going to be pretty good, I think. So all you're going to do is you're just going to put this in. This is very easy. You know, you could put gorgonzola, you could put any kind of cheese in this that you wanted to. You could mix cheeses, you know, if your family likes different kinds of cheeses. You could, what else could you put into this? You could put
Horseradish cheese.
Horseradish cheese. You could put
Gouda. Did you say Gouda?
Gouda, yeah.
Gruyere, Swiss.
Smoked Gouda would be really good. And you could also add, you could also, what I wanted to say is you could add things like mushrooms, anything like that. So what we're going to do is let me get one of these out. going to get sort of a measuring cup here. Oop. I'm making noise. And what I've done is I've cooked the pasta. Let's put it, which one should we put it? Should we put it in this one? This one's cute.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to spread the pasta to the bottom. And this recipe takes 8 ounces. Oop, I know you guys are.
Can I help you?
Keep it
Did I,
now.
like-
Nope.
No, did all its
We're all
own.
good.
Did I do it?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
This takes about 8 ounces of dried pasta, which is about a half a pound of pasta. And then you just put it down, and then
And the pasta's okay, Judy? It doesn't need to be oiled or anything? It's not
no,
going to stick? It's just boiled?
It's just boiled, and actually boiled and cooled, actually. So then you're just going to pour this over it. Can you guys see this? Okay, good. Okay, this is a real, I mean, this is going to be good. And just spread it out.
That looks yummy.
And then we're going to just put some more pasta. I just don't want that to spill on you guys. And then we're going to just top it again.
So you make 2 layers.
So you do 2 layers. Actually, this is a little bit less than half a pound of pasta. So, because I have like 3 things, so. Oops. And then you just top it. And you tell me this isn't going to be good. And then this goes into the oven at 350 and bakes until it's bubbly. Because basically everything is cooked. So what you're looking for is just to get the cheese to melt in there and for it to bubble. I know, it smells really good because that pappardelle is... Okay, so there's, I mean, that's pretty easy, you guys, I think. So
Very
that would be
easy.
your first one. So I have a little bit left. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to spread all this on top. I mean, if you had cooked mushrooms, I mean, anything. If you wanted to do this, say, Italian style, you could put gorgonzola, you could put some Italian sausage, some cooked Italian sausage on here, and top it with maybe some fontina, Italian fontina. I mean,
It's just really as creative as you want to get.
really,
What you
really.
enjoy and-
yeah, some pine nuts, anything. Okay, so the next one. Let's see. We did that. Okay, we're all done. On to the next one. Okay, this one is the one that came, I believe, is the one actually from the 1920s. And this is a really interesting one. This one actually would probably be, I think, one of the ones that you could cut down calorie-wise to a really low calorie count. This is not going to be low calorie count, however, because we're using half and half. But in reality, this one is only a half a cup of milk and 1 egg. And this one evidently, from what I was investigating, was popular. Don't crack your eggs on the side, okay? Don't crack your eggs on the side. Chips of eggs fall in. Okay, crack it away, then put it in. Okay, this is kind of a little tip, because you get egg fragment in there. Okay. I love my new apron, thank you. This is from
You're
La Crusade.
welcome.
I really like this. If you guys get a chance, great Christmas gift, because you can hang, it's really nice because you can hang a towel on it, and I'm like I'm always like wiping my hands on something, and it's nice to have a towel sitting right there.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, La Crusade.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're just going to mix this in. This has got some interesting things. This has some cayenne pepper in it. Okay, it has 1/8 of a teaspoon. So be careful with cayenne pepper. If it says 1/8 of a teaspoon, don't get too nuts because cayenne pepper is a little on the spicy
Yeah,
side.
always err on the
Yeah,
You can-
you know, do this one first with a little bit, and then next time you can, you know,
And if
spice
you're
it
having
up.
guests and you know somebody doesn't really like pepper all that much, cut
Yeah,
back a little, you know.
You could use on this one. You could use smoked paprika. That's like the new thing. Smoked paprika is like one of the new things. I like it. I have some smoked paprika. I'm not. I use it with a real, just a little bit, because it's very intense. It's probably one of the most intense flavors in spices that I've used lately. So this has got a teaspoon of salt. Another thing is, when you're cooking your pasta, remember to salt your water. That's
Huge.
That's like majorly important.
It really is.
The other thing is, and a lot of people don't know this, is making mashed potatoes. Now, Joelle and I made mashed potatoes the other day, and you know, salt your water when you make mashed potatoes. A lot of people don't do that, but if you salt your water when you make your mashed potatoes, you'll notice that you won't have to keep constantly putting salt in to the potatoes afterwards, because it just doesn't ever seem like they never get enough salt, because pasta and pasta and potatoes, they absorb the moisture from the water, and it's at that time that you're actually infusing the flavor. And you can infuse a lot of flavors at that time. You know, it doesn't, salt for sure, but if you wanted to put something else into the water, potatoes you can put rosemary, pasta you can put rosemary, you can put sage, you can put any kind of flavoring in there, but you have to put salt when you're you know, boiling them. Okay, so then we got that. We have put the salt in. We put the egg in. And so what it says to do is, okay, we'll put this one in here, because this one has a buttered breadcrumb topping. So let's see, which one should we do? Should we do this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's got the topping here.
So we'll do this
The
one.
breadcrumbs.
More surface area.
Exactly.
See these guys, more surface area for the calories, okay? So this one is an easy one too, but what's interesting is you dot this with, let's see, what is it? 3 tablespoons of butter. So you put the butter, okay? Now this pasta is cold, which is interesting. It's not, so what you want to do is you want to boil your pasta and then run it under cold water, which is kind of unusual, because usually you don't do that. Right?
Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive. But
Yeah, because when you do that, you lose the starch that's around the pasta, and what happens is the starch around the pasta actually is what causes the pasta to absorb or have the sauce adhere itself to it. So this is what was I was instructed. This is how I found this recipe. So then you put the cheese on it.
It's amazing that it's not sticking together. The pasta
Yeah,
is
well,
just...
and I'll tell you something. When you use good pasta, do yourself a favor. I mean, we've had experiences. I've had experience with friends who don't use good pasta, and really good pasta isn't that expensive. And Barilla pasta is very good pasta, and you can get it at times for less than $1. Around $1 a box, and it's good pasta, I think. I mean, there are some that are a little more expensive at times and stuff, but I find that it's good. Okay, then let's see. Then what says? Well, we're going to put another layer of cheese, because that's geez, you can't see me doing it. That would be kind of silly, huh? So, okay, so we got that, and then. Okay, so now we have, I think what we need though is some more butter. Let's put a little bit more butter. And then actually after all these are done, we have we have to taste test everything.
Of course.
So you guys will have to be the taste
It's the really
tester.
hard part.
Yeah,
the really
suffer
hard
through
part.
that part.
So, and then we're going to top this one. First we're going to pour, I think, oops, sorry, I keep doing that. So this is our mixture. This is the egg and milk mixture, which I think is kind of, it's not very much. It's a very small amount, and then it gets topped with buttered breadcrumbs. So it's really pretty. And I think if you look at this one, I think that you're going to notice that this is something that you have seen if you go into diners. Doesn't this look like
It does.
Oh.
It really does.
Doesn't this look like one that you've seen in a diner? And I think that that's why this one is actually something that came from the 20s, because that was during the time when there were certain things that were short on, there wasn't a lot of milk. There probably wasn't as much egg and stuff, so, cheese and things like that. So there's our second one. Okay? Now, our third one. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and use this bowl. Okay, this one I know this one by
Okay.
heart. Okay. This one is a can of whatever kind of cream of chicken or can you see what I'm doing? It's can? Okay. And this is a can of cream of chicken. If you don't like cream of chicken, use whatever cream of mushroom.
Corn chowder. Could you use corn chowder? Almost like a cream soup, corn chowder in a can. No? Maybe not.
No. You
No.
could use cream of
Celery.
celery. Any of the vegetable ones, well, you could use cream of corn.
Cream of corn.
Yeah, you could
Not a
use
corn
cream of
chowder.
corn because in the next one that I'm going to make, you could because it's a Mexican one. I'm going to put fresh corn in it. Sure, you could. So you could use any of the ones that are cream style. Whatever your family likes. Okay. So this one is the cream. And actually, this one is a little bit different because normally the pasta, okay, this
There
way.
you go.
Wow.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's do it this way.
So is this one of those that slices around the sides? Yeah, fancy.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
fancy.
Those are
Okay.
fun.
Okay, tell me when it's done. Oh, I'll know. I'll know. I'm trying to. Okay. Did I do it?
I don't know that
Okay.
I don't know that it.
Okay, I'm not used to using it. Okay. Technical problems here. Oh, it did work.
So now you're cutting it twice.
Now I'm
How
cutting it
funny. You'll have a
twice.
little ring. See, now you have a.
Can you see how I did
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to,
It
there you
did.
go.
Ta-da! Okay, I know you people think that I'm not quite done in that, but anyway, we got it off. Thank you. That was part of my crew. Thank you, Judy. So this one, usually the pasta is hot, but that's okay in this case. And all you do is mix the two together. And when the pasta is warm, you're going to, in this one, you're going to put in some butter into the pasta. But today it's not, so that's okay. It's not gonna make that much difference because eventually it's all gonna get all heated up anyway. So it's not a disaster. It all goes into the same place. So we're just gonna take some of this and put it in here. Sorry.
So-
Wow.
It's just a little bit more fat. But see, this one's not too bad because see, this one's got the cream and mushroom or whatever, and,
Right.
and it doesn't. It has the evaporated milk. The one thing good about this one is that you can have all this stuff in your, in
Pantry.
your cupboards and stuff like that. And the kids, you can send the kids to do this kind of thing because this one's. I think this one's pretty kid friendly. They don't have to. There's nothing. They don't have to go to the stove or anything other than making the pasta. So you could make the pasta the night before for them or something like that. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a little bit of Coleman's dry mustard. I'll give you the rest. I'll tell you how much, but I'm just kind of winging it because I've been doing this for so long. We're just going to spread a little bit in there. It's probably about a half a teaspoon or so. And a little bit of, now this is white pepper, but if you don't have white pepper, dark pepper is okay too. I'm just going to mix this up. And then, because I have some of this cheddar left over, I'm just going to go ahead and use the cheddar in here. Because it's just sitting here, I don't want to waste it. But any kind of cheese that you want, put it in here or into the pasta itself. Probably about 1.5 cups to 2 cups. It really depends on your family and how cheesy you like your noodles. And how strong the cheese is that you use. If you use a sharp cheddar like this, it's going to be much sharp. The flavor is going to come through. If you're going to use
pungent.
a light cheddar, some of the younger kids they don't like. They like it to taste like the box stuff. So you don't want to. You want to use a something that's not too strong for them. If the adults they're a little different. So. This is easy. And then we're just going to pour it into here. Okay. And since this is really less than 1/2 pound, and in this instance, you could it. That's the other thing. For this one, you could use 1 pound of pasta. That's the other thing. Because it depends on how creamy you like your pasta. Your macaroni and cheese, some people like it drier, some people like it wetter. The other thing you're going to put into this one is you're going to put an egg.
So you wouldn't add the egg to the soup first? You add it at the end?
Yeah, just so that it gets in there. Just make sure I didn't drop any shells in it. Dropping a shell in something could be a real deterrent. It tastes really yucky. But the egg, one thing, if you can't eat eggs, don't worry about it, don't put it in. But it does add a little bit of extra protein to it if you have kids that are kind of difficult to get that protein into them. It sort of makes a little bit more of a meal for them. So.
What they don't know.
And what they don't know won't hurt them, So it looks pretty good.
That looks yummy.
It does.
Yeah. So then we're just going to put this one into here.
Perfect.
You get it in? You got it? Good. I love my bowls. I love red. I love red bowls.
I know you do. I know you love red. Everything.
I do. So, there you have it. There's 4 different ways to make macaroni and cheese. Okay. Now, the next thing. What do you guys think? This one doesn't have any topping. Well, I'll tell you, that's not really true. Top it with a little cheese. I mean, why not?
Could a person use whole wheat pasta,
You
Judy,
could-
if
oh,
they
yeah.
are real carb conscious?
There's some other kind of pastas. There's some rice pastas too. I don't know too much about. You have to be careful. I don't know how they would break down. I'm not sure how cooking. Recooking some pastas may may break down in the sauce. Rice pasta could possibly break down again. But you know something? You don't know until you try it. So if your family needs to have that kind of pasta, I certainly would give it a try. I'm just going to put this, because we're going to bring out some meat, and I don't want to expose this cheese to any kind of meat. So let's put this over here. Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to do is, and this is fine because everything we're doing. Can you see everything, Diane?
Yeah. Do you want?
Okay. I think that looks good.
It looks great.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, and I'm going to chop all the vegetables. We're going to make a pasta using the macaroni. I think we're going to use mini panini. So you can use any kind of pasta you like, any shape.
Elbow or
Elbow,
penny or
whatever
shells.
shape, you know. Sometimes the kids for a birthday party or something like that, you could ask the kids to go pick out which shape they want, because I know they make all these cute, they make some that look like wheels and
bow ties,
whatever
Yeah.
kind of shapes that they want. But the next one we're going to make is going to be a Mexican sort of meal, and it's going to have tomatoes and peppers and cheese and beef in it and everything, and it's like a one pan meal. And I remember it as a kid. But this time we're going to make it with the cream of chicken and the evaporated milk and some Mexican cheese and some fresh corn. And these are some roasted red peppers from LJB and some roasted Anaheim peppers, so it's going to be a little spicy. So I'm going to go ahead and chop these things up, and then I'm going to saute everything and then get it together, and we'll be right back after this. Hi, and we're back. Okay, this is the last mac and cheese we're going to make. This one is really a combination, well, it's not a combination, but it's the one that you make with the soup. I've already got it mixed in here. I believe I already put, I forgot the egg in it. I need the egg in it. So, right in here, I have the cream of chicken soup and a can of evaporated milk. Very good. And the mustard, dry mustard sauce, and some, some pepper. Now this one, we're changing it up a little bit, and what we've done is, if you can see, we've added some beef, some fresh corn, some fresh tomatoes, the roasted Anaheim peppers, and some roasted bell peppers, red bells, and some onions that we sauteed with the beef, and some, I don't know, did I say the fresh corn? Did I say the fresh corn? Okay. Okay, the next thing is the seasoning. The only thing this has in it is salt and some fresh garlic. This is a Mexican oregano, okay? Mexican oregano is different than Greek or Italian. And really do yourself a favor and get some, because it really does make the difference when you're making Mexican food. It does give it that
Is it as
flavor.
Strong as the other types of oregano?
I think it's much more pungent.
Okay.
I mean, I use a lot of it, so you can.
Okay.
And dried oregano, even though people use fresh oregano and they say, well, you should use fresh herbs and everything. Fresh oregano, in reality, it has very little flavor to it. It's really when it gets dry that the oils come out in it. Yeah, it's fun to use and stuff like that. And I don't think you can find fresh Mexican oregano. Obviously, you can find fresh Italian oregano. And the other thing is cumin. We're going to put some cumin in. So now, if you don't use beef in your family, you can use chicken, pork,
Turkey.
leave it out, turkey. Don't put meat in it at all, just put the vegetables in it.
That would be good too.
Yeah,
Either way.
you could just make it all vegetarian, really. So You know, that's, I think it smells really good. So, okay.
I really,
You smell the
spice,
cumin?
yeah, it's a spice that I really like.
Cumin? How is it? A little more?
Whoa. Those Anaheim chilies. Oh, kick your butt. Those things are strong. But, you know, we're going to add cheese to it and everything. You guys want to taste it?
Sure.
Okay. Because, you know, you're going to add some, you're going to add cheese to it, and you're going to add the milk, and remember you got the cream chicken soup, so that's gonna cut it down.
Very good. A little hot, a little spicy.
It's going to be spicy,
Little bit.
but now, you know,
It's not bad.
If you don't, you know, the one thing about cooking is that if you don't put spice in it, and you add all this extra cheese and cream and everything, it's going to be blah, basically. By the time you get through, it's not going to have any flavor to it. So you were worried about too much salt in the pasta, see, and it's not. It's going to be fine. So the next thing is we're going to add the pasta. And this pasta has been cooked. It's pretty much al dente. Al dente means to the tooth. It's not overcooked because it's going to, remember, it's going to be absorbing some of the moisture from the milk and stuff like that. That's true about all the pastas. I'd probably pull, when you're making macaroni and cheese, I'd probably pull your macaroni out maybe a couple minutes before the package says that you should cook it too, because you're going to recook it. Most of these cook for anywhere between 20 to 35 minutes, so you're talking about it's going to recook itself, and so it's going to be absorbing some more liquid, and if you overcook it, it's going to be, well, yeah, it's going to be really cooked. I mean, but if your kids like it that way, cook it that way. I mean, it's just kind of the way you like your, we have a friend who doesn't like pasta cooked al dente. He likes it really overcooked. And so, you know, you cook it to what you like it. So that, I mean, that's
And so that's why when you talked earlier about, you know, buy good pasta, if you prefer your pasta cooked, you know,
all the
way, it becomes more important to buy a little bit better pasta.
Yeah. And, go ahead.
You also had some butter in the bottom of that with the pasta.
Yeah, we put butter. We put probably about 4 tablespoons or so of butter in the pasta.
It was in the bottom of the bowl that you just turned over.
Just a little bit more butter. Okay, so then we're just going to put this in. And this is the mixture. You okay? I mean, this is like enough food for like, 50 people here.
That looks really good.
That was
Really good.
It is really good.
Oh my gosh.
So I think
I've
this
been
is
fortunate to have this one before.
And actually, in reality, this is a really good dish to make if you're having a Sunday party. This is a good dish for those football things, and I think it's fairly inexpensive to make. It's not a real expensive one to make. If you don't want it Mexican, make it Italian. The only difference would be change the seasoning. You put the same stuff in it, the peppers, maybe instead of putting jalapenos, let's see.
Roasted bell
put some
peppers,
roasted bells.
sun-dried tomatoes.
Well, we did put roasted. We put roasted red and stuff. Just put some sun-dried tomatoes in there or something like that.
Oregano.
Okay, now the difference is now I'm going to add some cheese, and this is some Mexican combination of. This has some cheddar Monterey Jack,
Asadero.
Asadero, and queso. So, again, put what kind
That's
of
just a basic 4 cheese.
yeah, just put what kind of cheese you like. If you can't get this or you don't like this, just use Monterey Jack. Use just cheddar. Don't worry about.
If it was Italian, you could use Asiago or Parmigiano Reggiano.
Oh yeah,
That would be so
or
good.
Fontina.
Oh, so good.
I love Italian Fontina. You know, it's a little bit, sometimes a little bit more difficult to use. Smoked Gouda is really good, you know.
Wow.
So I'd probably say in this, you're going to use a good 3 cups of cheese in this to get, otherwise you're not going to taste the cheese in it at all because there's a lot of food in here. So, okay, so there you go. This is the big one. This is the Big Mac, okay? But as you could tell, it wasn't a difficult one to make. Just brown your meat, brown your onions. I use roasted bells. If you don't have roasted bells, just the only thing I say is cook your bell peppers and your whatever kind of peppers you're gonna put in it before. You could actually use jalapenos, those jarred jalapenos, before. You know, the only thing is that it's got the fresh corn. Now the fresh corn has not been cooked. Don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be cooked. If you can't get fresh corn, frozen corn I would use. Canned corn, okay, try frozen corn first. It's got a little better flavor to it. So, this is it. We're going to put it in the big guy.
Need some help? Judy.
I don't
You
know.
okay?
I don't
Do you
know.
want me to lift it and throw it, and you could scoop it while I lift?
I think it's just going to pour.
Is it pouring? Okay.
I think it's just going to
So
pour.
heavy.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Are you guys up for this? So the only thing I'm going to do, I mean, I think that would keep some guys busy for a while. You know? You remember it's got eggs in it, so you want to make sure that you cook it all the way through. This is probably going to take about anywhere. It's going to cook at 350. It's probably going to take 45 minutes to an hour to cook. You want to make sure that you cook it all the way through, like I said, because it does have eggs in it. You want to make sure that everything gets cooked. So we're going to top it with cheese, and that would be, and then we'll be back after everything's come out of the oven. Okay. I mean, I think you guys can handle that.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Look at this.
Can't wait.
Okay, we'll be back. We'll pop them in the oven, and as soon as they're ready, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Cooking for All Seasons. Okay, it's all cooked. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering why we have all these little forks sticking out of here, but the girls volunteered. It was hard to get them to do this, but they did volunteer to do the taste test, okay? So let's just kind of review what we've cooked here. This was the one that had the layers with just the plain milk. It was about a half a cup of milk and 1 egg, and we layered cold pasta with butter and cheese, and then poured the milk in and topped it with the buttered breadcrumbs. I think this is the one that you're going to see probably the most in
Restaurants.
diners and things like this. This is the 20s. This represents the 20s. Okay, this was a cheddar, a white cheddar. Okay, next. This one was made with a white sauce, and this has had a pepperdew cheese in it, which was similar to a pimento cheese. And this was made with a white sauce, and then you add the pimento cheese to it, cold pasta, layered. Okay. This one was the one that we made with the cream of chicken soup and the evaporated milk and an egg. So you always want to make sure that these two had eggs in them. So you always want to make sure that you cook them long enough because they have raw eggs in them. But they are cooked long enough, and 20, 25 minutes should be definitely long enough. Okay, this was the big guy. This one was made with the same ingredients, the cream of chicken soup, evaporated milk, but it has the meat and all the tomatoes and the onions and the fresh corn and all the goodies in it. And we brought along, because we wanted to cut the fat down a little bit here, we threw in just a green salad, which I think sort of, you need something. Sliced tomatoes, whatever your family likes. Fresh vegetables are always good. and even during the winter time, we're lucky we get everything around here. So throw in a fresh salad with your macaroni and cheese dinner. With these, there's no meat in them. You could throw chicken, roasted chicken, beef, sausages, ham, anything, you know. For kids, if you can get them to eat it, fine. I know one lady stopped me and said, please give me a recipe. My child won't eat the macaroni and cheese, anything other than what they serve at school. So even though this has butter in it and has cheese in it, I bet you anything, and I'd put this up against the food that you go out to eat. Going out to eat once in a while is fine. But when you go out to eat, you don't realize, and you know as well as I do, they use a lot of butter and a lot of oil and a lot of salt. And that's what makes it taste good, and that's why people go out to eat. And there's nothing wrong with going out to eat. But going out to eat, going to a restaurant, I think is a little better sometimes than going out to McDonald's and stuff. So if you got your kid going out to McDonald's or something, and I'm not, every once in a while, you can't help it. I mean, they're going to do it. Make this for them, see if you can get it. And also you can involve them in making this because all kids like macaroni. So, taste test. Hit it.
All right.
Let's see. This one's cooled off a little bit, so
crusty.
hopefully.
Nice and crusty on the bottom.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's really good.
See, now that one, now you weren't thinking that this one was going to be as good as it was. This one only
delicious.
had a half
really
a
good.
cup of milk in it and an egg. And, you know, that's going to be good for people who
good.
don't want to use a lot. I just dotted it with butter and put a little cheese. So cut it down to 2% milk if you wanted to cut it down. Okay, next one up. Of
Next
course,
one
this
up.
one is good.
That's going to be a tough one to beat. That
This
one
one's
was
going to
pretty
be a
good.
little bit more fattening because it's made with the cream sauce. But then again, you could use, you know, a lighter milk.
It's hot.
And I don't want you to burn yourself.
Is it hot?
It's not as hot as. It's good.
Different than this one, but
A
still
lot
very good.
Has different, see, that you're starting to get
Different consistency.
difference, you know?
Creamier.
So, you know, you get the idea of what kinds of meats that you can serve different ones with and who's going to like what. Okay, next one. Can you guys reach it? You want me to bring it over
No,
here?
no, it's gonna be hot. So you can show me.
This one was
A little
kind of...
crusty too. That looks yummy.
This looks-
Okay, this was the one that was made with the cream of chicken soup. It's going to have a little different flavor to it. And,
Cheesy.
yeah.
Very good.
Very moist.
Delicious.
Very cheesy.
Really good.
I think the crew's going, okay, so hurry up, okay?
Very
Let's wrap this
Wow.
up because they're drooling, okay? Okay, so this is the big guy. Let's try this one.
Okay.
Okay, this one
This
just
one
came out of the
came out
oven,
of the
so
oven,
this
so
one's
it's
gonna
piping.
be, I
Really
really
hot.
don't want you to, here,
Maybe just the top. We'll just skim the top, maybe.
yeah.
Let's see.
I don't want you to burn your mouth. I'm so glad you guys stopped by.
Oh,
I really
could have picked
am.
a better day. What a great
Because
day.
the crew would have had to do this for me, and I know they didn't really want to do this. You know, that would have been a sacrifice on their part, you know, to have to come over here and taste test
That
this.
is so good.
You like that
Oh,
one?
excellent.
I mean, I really think this is a good family one.
It's a great
Excellent.
family one, and
It's full meal.
like
know.
you said, for,
My
football
God, this-
Sunday or for just throw it together and you've
Yeah.
got a full meal here. I mean,
And
it's
not only
just-
that, but you could do this one the night before. Technically, you do this a couple days before. It's fine. Put it in the refrigerator. It's going to be fine.
Probably gets better.
Yeah. The only thing I can say is if you're going to put it in the refrigerator, is you probably need to let it sit out for a good hour before you put it in the oven. And that's true about any of these. You can do these the night before, but you probably want them to come up to room temperature before you put them in the oven. Otherwise, you're going to end up with things that are going to burn. The tops are going to burn before the cheese is actually and the pasta is going to melt. So, and that's really true. That's true about cooking meat or anything. Take your beef out, even chicken. Take it out. Not when it's at 200 degrees outside or 100 degrees outside. No, you really shouldn't do that. But take your beef out of the refrigerator about an hour before you're going to cook it. Let it get to room temperature, because when you put it in the oven, it actually will cook even more even, So,
Judy, you just take the myth out of cooking. You make this so easy. I mean, these are really great, hearty dishes, and they're really easy to prepare.
yeah.
And they're
Well,
delicious.
thank you. Well, hey, thanks you guys for coming, and thanks you guys for looking. And like I said, all these recipes are going to be on the website, Cooking for All Seasons. I want to thank La Crusade from All My Red. And I want to thank you guys for being here, Joelle and Renee. And I want to thank LW Farms for providing me with all the good veggies and everything. And always my crew for being here and being so nice. And sorry they won't be able to eat today, but it doesn't seem to be enough food. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time. Have a happy day.
These are delicious. Oh my gosh,
They're
these are fabulous.
Very,
They taste
very
What's your
okay?
good.
favorite, Joelle, out of all of them?
Oh, I should have asked you what your favorite was. Okay, roll it. Okay, what's your favorite? Okay, sorry, take it all back. It wasn't the end of the show. We have one more question to ask. What's your favorite?
I think there has to be two favorites, because
Yes.
that one's just so different and a meal in and of itself. And I think,
This is sort of like the person who retired and then came back.
this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't this remind you kind of old cafe
I'm not
type?
sure.
To me, I think it would.
Texture with the crumbs on top. The crunchy with the soft is really good.
Yeah. So which one was your favorite?
I like this. I like all of them, Judy. It's really hard to pick a favorite, but I think it's a tie between this one and that one. That one is the one. I just love that one.
Okay.
This one too. All of them are excellent.
They're all
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
They're all just very unique in their own way, and they're all excellent.
There's no calories. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yay.
love that one. I thought that was the one with the soup. And
Yeah.
that's the one I know that my kids would love. Taste that, Judy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh.